All right, we're about to take off on our first longish road trip. We are headed to Charlotte, North Carolina from Sumter, South Carolina. So right now our starting mileage is 2,462 and we have approximately 3/4 of a tank in fuel. Let's see how well we do. All right, we are pulling up to IKEA and it looks packed. And like my grandma just said, it looks like a tour bus is even pulling up there. So that's how you know it's gotta be good. Unfortunately, we didn't do too hot with our gas. We're down to almost 1/4 of a tank, and our latest MPGs for this trip was 33.6 MPGs. But as many people know, you know, on the highway, which is what we did mostly, a hybrid doesn't work as well as it does on the street. You actually get better MPGs going slower because the battery is working more so than the engine. I did have to overtake a couple of vehicles on the highway, and it did all right. You know, the power limiter was almost all the way, but we had to get around. There was like an army tank going real slow, so but overall still 33.6 MPGs is not bad. So we'll see how we do on the way back and if we need to stop for fuel or not. You having fun at IKEA? Huh? Say cheese. You gonna go rocking? You look like a little old lady. You gonna go rocking? I don't think it rocks actually. You gotta get one of all of them, huh?
Wait, you have that one?
Bank of America Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers. We just pulled up to a park. Carolina Panthers play 60. So
I'm gonna go over there.
I guess you start over here and you make your way through the course. And you finish off at the 40. Over there, and it's got a clock. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but pretty neat. All right, our mileage is 2,643. We are currently in line for some Culver's custard, and we are headed back home. We stopped a couple different places, but after this, we're gonna hit the road. All right, so our last trip was 34.5 MPGs, so we are going to do an update, and we're gonna track it from here and see what we get on our trip, which is approximately about 120 miles or so. So we'll see how we do. All right, so we're just making it back home, and we made significantly better gas mileage than going. We hit 40.4 MPGs on the way back, and that was approximately 110 miles, and we still have 1/4 of a tank. So we did pretty good. Okay, so we left, I went to go drop my grandma back off to her place, and she lives not too far from where we stay. And going off of this history, this thing gives some pretty good information as far as MPG goes, and I kind of just discovered it the other day. on exactly how to work it. You have to hit the update button each time you start a new trip, and it'll track your MPG. So as you can see, trip 4 was the trip on the way home from our Charlotte experience, and that one we averaged, and you can see here actually our previous best was 40.2 MPGs. And then now me coming from my home to drop my grandmother off, which was approximately 7-ish miles, that one we're averaging so far 44.5 miles to the gallon. So pretty good overall. Now we will be on our way to fill up gas in the Sienna for the 4th time now. This will be our 4th fill up, approaching 3,000 miles. So let's see how much we can get out of the next tank. All right, so we are about to fill up here at the gas station. And as you can see, this latest trip, we just hit 44.3 MPGs. And while this is filling up, I'm gonna explain why we got better MPG on our way back on trip 4. In particular, how we were able to get 44.3 on my latest trip here to the gas station. Let me go ahead and start the pump and we will talk about it. There you have it, 13 miles. 259, hopefully it doesn't go up. Liking these prices. Let's see how much it costs. We had approximately 57 MPGs left till E. All right, so it clicked on $39.96 for 15 gallons back on full F, but just because I like to have even numbers. See if I can get it, no pressure. Hey. All right, so like I kind of mentioned already earlier in the video, on our way back, we got significantly better gas mileage on trip 4, which was our return from Charlotte back down to Sumter, South Carolina. And one of the reasons for that was because Google Maps actually gave us an alternate route, which we ended up taking because it was faster. And it was mostly back roads, and we weren't kind of zooming like we were on our way up to Charlotte on the highway the whole entire time. And anyone who owns a hybrid out there knows that your hybrid MPG is going to work better when you're going slower than when you're going faster. So your city MPG is going to be a whole lot higher than your highway MPG, believe it or not. And that's just because the slower you go, it gives that battery an opportunity to work, especially when you're going on a downhill, because you're able to recharge that battery as you're going on a downward angle. So that had a lot to do with it. I didn't have to really overtake anybody on our way back like we did on our way up to Charlotte. So a couple of those different little variables helped out. Not to mention another variable that some people may not take into consideration is the vehicle is lighter the less fuel that you have in there. We were coming back on a little over a quarter of a tank. And I don't know if you guys noticed on the little cluster up here, when I recorded it on our way back up, it said approximate MPGs till E was right around 126 miles, I want to say. If I got that wrong, I'll put it up on the screen here so you can see what the correct information was. But when we got back, I was still at approximately 70 MPGs to E, and our total trip back was 110 miles from the moment that we started, from when we left Culver. So we were able to gain those MPGs that were taken away from us on our way up to Charlotte. So just kind of wanted to summarize that. Let's get this bad boy reset. All right, we got 0 miles. And we are at 2,753 miles. So let's see how much we can get out of this one.